Hello everybody, I'm here with Iris Lam. I'm very excited to be with her today. She's the Director of Sustainability for Global Development at Mandarin Oriental Group. Iris, welcome.
Thank you.
Do you mind maybe introducing yourself and Mandarin Oriental Group for everyone and kind of explaining some of the key issues that you all focus on from an ESG perspective?
Sounds good. So I'm Iris, as you've already introduced, and Mandarin Oriental is primarily focused on luxury hotel development, but our portfolio also includes residences, exclusive homes. And so within the luxury hospitality sector, we've now got a footprint of 41 hotels, 26 residences, and a pipeline that is growing.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting times for us, but we also recognize the great responsibility in terms of growth to also be considering our existing footprint and also that trajectory. So for us primarily, we are guided by what we say about just doing the right thing, and it's for the people, our planet, and within our communities.
Yeah, and so if maybe just on a personal note, one of the things that we try to do for our learners, especially because a lot of them might be looking to transition in their life, in their career, do you mind speaking to kind of your journey into sustainability and ESG? My understanding is you started in hospitality, but how did that transition into the role that you have now?
So I've been very fortunate to be in hospitality my entire career, and now it's been 10 years with Mandarin Oriental, and prior to that, another 6 years elsewhere. So 16 years in hospitality. I started off as somebody who was very passionate about food and beverage. So I worked through operations, and then I found my way into a corporate setting where I could do some design and development for new projects, for renovations. And in that space, when I joined Mandarin Oriental, I did that for 7 years. And in that time, I was very fortunate to be within a group that has been formally reporting to this year, 13 years of sustainability reporting. But it was really about 7, 8 years ago where we focused on creating a governance structure. And the timing of me within my food and beverage role was a place on the Sustainability Leadership Council, really looking at how we would advance specifically within food and beverage, sustainable governance, initiatives and projects. There's actually a lot of low-hanging fruits when it comes to the touch points in food and beverage. When we look at waste, responsible procurement, eliminating single-use plastics. So we were able to do a lot of what we call early, low-hanging fruit wins, right? And that's sort of how that opportunity came in my direction when the group realized, albeit our philosophy remains that everybody in the organization has a responsibility, right, to act with responsibility. But we could see that while this belongs as absolutely with priority in each role, with each colleague, that there was a lot of stopgaps that were happening because people also had other responsibilities.
Yeah.
So that's where the group sustainability function came into play and prominence 3 years ago. And I was very fortunate in the role that I was in and then the activities I was involved in to be asked if this would be a place, a space that I would like to contribute towards and help lead the day-to-day of that function that supports the rest of the group. So I said yes, did the deep dive, and then here I am today.
And what did that deep dive kind of look like initially in terms of just, again, for those out there that might be in a position where they're saying, hey, I want to see how I can get a role like that in the future. Like for someone like you, there's so many things that can be done, and life is a lifelong learning journey, right?
Of course.
But what were some of the things that I guess practically speaking that you would advise maybe like a young professional that might be looking for a career in ESG or sustainability? What were some of the things that you either did or would recommend other people to consider doing?
So this will date this a little bit.
That's okay, yeah.
It was around the time of COVID. I did some upskilling. At that time, I had no idea that this opportunity would come to play, but I was interested in it through the work that I was doing and the belief that it was important to contribute and think about how we could sustainably design. And so I wanted to put more tools in my toolkit. So that's what I did. I did online studies, and that really fueled my interest and also helped me consider applications within the company. And through the studies, it's really great because usually there's like a capstone research paper that you deliver. And so because of my day job, it was very natural for me to make the parallels to what would be material to the group. And so that, I believe, also supported conversation to key senior leadership within the group that I think also probably earmarked them that I had this interest. And when the opportunity came, there was a fit to speak of. But what I would say is, I would start today if this is something, and I believe for many of us, hopefully all of us, it is important, right? We all should be supporting a sustainable future. You can start today. That's what I would advise. And that's how I approached it, just genuinely wanting to find solutions in what I was doing, right? And at that time, I was designing, developing for the future.
Yeah.
And so you start thinking about, I know, right, why our hotels are procuring in this fashion. But what if we build, a water decanting room, a place where you could do in-house filtration,
Yeah.
right? Then that already from day one sets that hotel up to have that model.
Yeah.
Right? And so those are the kind of thought processes that before I had the title, right, the opportunity to be in the department, right, that before the group even recognized it as a department and function, right? It was really great and very rewarding to be able to think about solutions like that.
Yeah, so one thing, I'm actually really excited to speak with Iris today, and we didn't really talk about this before, but for those of you that live or work in Hong Kong or have traveled around Asia, you're probably familiar with the Mandarin Oriental group. For many of our learners around the world, maybe not quite as much, but this is a very well-known brand within Hong Kong with a very long history, and I have had the privilege, to work with the Mandarin Oriental group for many years in connection to one of the early social enterprises that I started with, soap cycling, where we recycle used hotel soap. So I'm really excited to be able to speak with you today. And one thing that I think is interesting, which I hope we can get into a little bit as we continue, is the hospitality sector, as you've kind of intimated already, it's one of the industries or segments where there's a clear connection between sustainability in all forms of ESG and revenue. And obviously, like for food and beverage or things, or maybe even from the water decanting that you mentioned, there are ways where you can simultaneously drive a more sustainable business model from an environmental standpoint, while simultaneously maybe earning more revenue. And so I think that's one of the things that we talk about in this program is understanding kind of the business case for ESG as well. But really boils down to what you said, that the entire program is how to build better models, how to look to the future. So yeah, I'm very excited that you're here and excited to have this conversation.